Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today we've got one from the past and one from the future. Let's start with the future. Today's first map is a creator idea of how the Grand Theft Auto 6 map might end up looking. Now, looking at the map, I would totally buy into a Grand Theft Auto 6 map looking a little bit like this one, so all credit for that. But the question is it a playable Cities Skylines map? We'll be checking out the map for that. Today's second map, we'll be playing a different sort of game, and that is not what's map, but whose map. Yeah, it's a creator that you're probably aware of, and we'll have a look at their very first map from 2016. See where small seeds were sown and how well they've grown. But before we do any of that, that's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first map is Ocean Drive by mr.pixelcat. And factoids, because factoids, Ocean Drive was recorded by the Essential Lighthouse family. Anyway, there's your start square. That looks playable, doesn't it? Looks a bit Floridian, and Floridian is a good place to locate because Grand Theft Auto 6. Terrain heights relatively flat. A few, they admit, slightly taller than realistic mountains for for Florida. Strong resources, lots of ore there, and then if you've got Sunset Harbor, a slightly disinteresting Florida shipping map. Okay, let's have a little look at the workshop. What do we need? Well, it says vanilla map, no DLC. Let's have a look. Well, there's no DLC required. There's no one-click collection. There's no items there. We'll be using the Temperate Coast 4K map theme and the realistic 1.2 LUTs because nothing else was suggested. Coastal map was listed. I always use whichever map is listed first, and Temperate 4K was listed first. Anyway, you enter the map via one of two different causeways, which again does feel very Grand Theft Auto. It means you can isolate the island. Yeah, you have there's a storm coming, and then you can shut off. Oh, look, it's everybody's favourite factory. Yeah, there's a storm coming, so you shut off the two bridges, and then you can open up later on, or leave them closed down because there's a crime wave on the island. Crime in Grand Theft Auto? That's not a thing, is it? Nah, it's not. It's such a peaceful game. Such a peaceful game. Unlike Cities Skylines, where everybody wants to have the military. I don't understand this. Anyway, the highways, they're a nice shape. They're a nice design. We don't have any trees under the highway. Look at this. This is all very good work. But Mr. Pixelcat, definitely a very strong creator. Apart from one little point, just one little point. I'm not going to mention where it is. You may spot it without my help. Of course, this is just down to, well, there are trees underneath the roads. that's what it's down to. But yes, Anarchy will probably obliterate those. But it's only because the road is elevated. And you can always use the bulldozer on those little areas there. Heading down towards the big old small bridge that's going to take us across to the main buildable area, and these like little offshoot islands. I like the design of this. You can see the highway is still running strong, taking us right into the start square, where we've got roundabouts and enough buildable space for a vanilla style play. Now, if you're a BonBonBingo player and listen out very carefully, you might hear some sirens coming past in a moment. And then we have this road now that feeds through the start square. It's an ambulance, guys. Hope you're all right, everybody in the ambulance. But yes, the road, it cuts down and through the middle of the buildable space. And so I would probably, if this was me building, look to expand this highway and connect it up so that our traffic can avoid the start square without having to go right the way through it. And that is, I guess, the technical problem with the map, is that everything is going to have to go through the start square until you can buy a second or a third tile to be able to alleviate the problem. And just a thought, Mr. Pixelcat, for your next map, because there will be a next map, I know, because this is quality. Anyway, there's another causeway with some Everglades style wetlands on the other side there, and we got rail. The rail does split and head off in a couple of directions. We're going to follow just one of those directions because we're not following the entire network, although we did pretty much with the highways. Let's go right. Let's go right. Yeah, we're going to head right through the wetlands. Now, a map like this, where there are drowned trees, it's wetland areas. Yes, ideally we want to have like Everglades style trees, and we have to suspend a little bit of disbelief because of what's available on vanilla, which is a much better selection now than it used to be. But yes, there are a few trees dotted in the water here and there, and on a map like this, I can buy into it. There's nothing that seems too ridiculous on this map in terms of trees standing in water. Anyway, that heads up to, you've already been sung to once, I'm not going to sing again. Soft kitty, warm kitty. Anyway, smelly cat, what's all about cats? I don't know. Anyway, start square area, nice and flat and interesting, and should make for a very interesting city in that area. Let's have a little look at the second tile there, third tile up here. It's a good layout. It's a very good layout. This yeah, you have a few different options. Will people stop honking? Anyway, shipping routes, I was going to say, wasn't I? Let's have a little look. Yeah, the overall shape there is very Grand Theft Auto, isn't it? Very Grand Theft Auto. Right, shipping routes. We have 4 separate ones. I thought it was going to be a through route, and there's this one. And then you've got a second one here that comes in from the side. That one is connected up. I would have thought that would be separate, but that's deep in fog. I don't mind the connection there. Another one heads up here towards a potential harbour there. And then this is a through route over on the far side that goes up and past the island over there. Right, water flow. I don't suppose it's going to be a problem because we have a large water area and actually some decent water flow coming past. It's mostly from the water replacing the evaporated water from the edge of map. But the water is moving, so yeah, you'll be okay. You won't poison your people. If you're careful. Right, so yeah, they've really done a very fine job of imagining what the map will look. If it looks exactly like this, you saw the Grand Theft Auto 6 map here first, and maybe you could get rich off of this. Get rich off of Mr. Pixelcat's crystal ball. Right, okay, beaches. We've got this long one up here. A little bit of beach stress going on with the terrain here and there, where it's just breaking into cliff mode. And they could be softened just a little bit there and there. I think just for the aesthetics. It's soft, it's gentle, and it's a nice and soft and gentle map as well. We have, the essential lighthouse. There's a family lives in there, you know. Anyway, yeah, isn't she lovely? You might spot a little bit of water glitching with the vanilla rocks right here. Not really much you can do other than switch for non-vanilla rocks or wiggle them about and hopefully get the water to settle in there. Once the water settles in, it will stop glitching. Some more nice beaches going on here. Just a couple of nice little coves. And again, it's a good shape. The entire map is a very nice shape. This one ends up with a few spindly islands on the end here that I'm not sure what you do with them, but there are people, really creative people out there, and I support all of you. You're all lovely. Anyway, this mountain, there are some, if you can call it a mountain, it's a big hill, and in context of Florida, this doesn't seem very realistic. In context of breaking up a map to make it more interesting, yeah, it's fine. On this particular map, it's fine. It's a fantastical, a little bit fantastical map, isn't it? Everglades, anybody? You want some Everglades? You want some wetland areas? Very interesting going on here. I, again, don't mind the trees in the water on this particular map. It doesn't look particularly dumb. There's not like one on its own in the middle of a lake. Another one of those factories, you know, the one I sang about earlier. A couple of pools over here, maybe one for your poop, one for your fresh water, Or maybe you could just use them for nuclear power station. Maybe. Now, 2 vanilla piers right next door to each other. How many times I've said how much I don't like this? I think it kind of works on this one. It's all a little bit janky shaped, and I'm okay with it on this map. However, this one over here, less so. Again, a mostly submerged pier can work. But on that location, like that, I don't believe that it would have eroded and sunk that much into the... Maybe it would. But I'm not sure on that one. Again, it's one click of the bulldozer, isn't it? I wouldn't worry too much. Anyway, what do you think of Ocean Drive by mr.pixelcat? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 map? Better angle. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Just make sure you're voting on Ocean Drive. Right, what do I think of Ocean Drive? Well, aesthetically, it's a design piece. It's not particularly pretty or striking or memorable when you get down to the buildable areas, but it's not. You know, it doesn't really kick itself or anything like that. As a design piece, it's pretty strong, and on design piece alone, I can edge it into 4 stars. Not a very high one, because beyond that, it's just okay. So, lowish 4. Detailing. It's not quite enough to say that this could be a 4-star map. There's definitely some 4-star standards in there, but there's just not enough other stuff. So I think we go for a high 3, very high 3. Gameplay potential, traffic might be a problem, but inspiration to build on here is there. So I'm going to go for 4 stars. I'm going to go at the bottom end, but because I imagine there's going to be all sorts of traffic chaos, I won't even consider the seal of approval. Ocean Drive by mr.pixelcat. A Grand Theft Auto map. Now, whose map? Whose map? Whose map is it anyway? We'll find out. And so back to whose map is it anyway, with me, BonBonB. Yes, this is a creator's first map, a creator you've probably heard of. If you watch the show regularly, you will have heard of them. A big name creator who's made a lot of maps since that are more than average. And actually, this map was under their old creator name, which made me look them up. And because I recognised the name, and we have reviewed them under that name as well, where they got 13 stars. 13 stars. That was episode 387. But no cheating. Today's second map, will be called Mountain Valley Delta by a mystery creator. I will reveal this when we get to the voting at the end, so have a little guess in the comments. No cheating now, okay? No cheating. And don't check the comments anyway, because there might be spoilers down there. Right, and there's no spoilers in the description. There's not. Anyway, here's your top-down view there. That was your start square previously. Top-down view, plenty of buildable space, some mountains there. Resources, they're in reasonable quantities, definitely usable. And then, of course, if you've got Sunset Harbour, way before Sunset Harbour came along, this creator made a map with a fishing map like this. Fantastic. Right, always ahead of their time. Right, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, nothing. It's 100% vanilla. It's the vanilla European theme. We'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUTs because that's what you guys want me to use. And yes, Roddlepop. I thought I recognise that name, Roddlepop. Yeah, even before I was reviewing this creator under their real name, or their real name, their new creator name. I doubt they're called this in real life. A slight janky there. Again, this is their first map. This is 2016 as well, so remember the standards were way down. We didn't have Move It. We didn't have a lot of things back then. Did we even have Tunnel Enabler? I'm not sure. Again, a little bit of a wobbly road there. A little bit of a wobbly bridge too. So, I kind of wanted to do this map just to show, if you're new to map making and your maps look a little bit like this, see how far you can come. See how far you can come. A few trees under the road, so you might spot those as well. This isn't really a parallel bridge. It looks a bit funny and a bit, a bit weird. Get trees under the roads there, and some jinkies and some jankies and some bendies and some wendies. All of the bits and pieces that you'd expect from a creator making their first map in 2016. So, hey, get good. Get good, you. Oh, you did. Anyway, we have road and rail. We have road and rail running together along here. The road goes up to allow the rail to go underneath it. That's the correct move. The road bridge that goes over is just not pretty. Just not pretty. And then back down to ground level. So yes, any ideas? I'm not going to mention any names at all. Not one. This, other than the only name I'll mention is this is not my first map. Okay, my first map, looking back at it, is probably not much better than this. It's on my list of things to do. 101 things BonBon wants to do in 2023 is to remake Merrickstowe and make it a little bit better. But yeah, listen, we're all allowed to improve, and that includes you, and that includes anybody that we've ever reviewed a bad map of, and we've seen bad maps. This is a better bridge. It's not parallel, but it is aligned, and it feels about right. Almost about right. Yeah, I mean, there are things on that where you go, what do you mean, BonBon? That it feels about right. Sometimes non-symmetrical bridges just fit and look about right. And in the non-symmetry, it was about right. There were ramps that were a bit out and various other bits and pieces we could talk about, but we're not gonna get too sweaty on those today. A little bit of a jinky on the entrance to this bridge here, just a little bit. Again, though, a slightly better looking bridge there than one that we saw earlier. And we're heading now down towards Start Square. Start Square is plenty buildable, and all these intersections as well that lead like this. It's a three-way squiggle intersection thing. Given this must have been hand drawn for its time, that's actually quite good. I mean, again, there's always plenty more we can talk about. Like, should we have a 3-lane road going onwards and then just 1-lane roads coming into the city? I mean, there are questions that we will not be answering. So, excuse me, we have this slightly oriental looking intersection in the middle. I don't know what's oriental about it, but it just makes me think of the Orient. And then we have the rail. And the rail is, again, for its time, actually very good. Okay? There's no crazy bridges that do anything really ridiculously stupid. And a route which, well, we've got strong highways and strong rail across the route, which is giving access to most of the map. In fact, you'll see, I'm not going to focus on them, but you'll see with the highways, you'll get some dead-end highways that just lead out into parts of the map to make it easy to get in and start building in those areas. And the shape of the highways on this map is a clue to the creator having their head screwed on when it comes to map design. Anyway, this rail just gonna wander off the edge of the map. Why am I still following it? I don't know. I recorded this earlier. I thought it was a good idea. Thank goodness that's over. Right, so map. We have rivers where it's mountain, valley, delta, and that is a delta, and there are mountains and valleys up there, so the name is good. And as a overall shape, there's definitely design issues. Good issues, that design quality going on here, if not finessed. Far from finessed, clearly. Shipping routes, we have one shipping route up here that could do a little shipping triangle at this location. You're going to have some ships doing some sharp turns there. Then we have here another shipping triangle that could be used for ships coming in from the side here, just to aid shipping to be a lot more smooth. A couple of potential shipping triangles leading into this phallus that goes up and into the harbour. But again, 2016, don't think people were really worried about such things back then. Why would they have been? Why would they? Why are they bothered about these things now? They're not. It's just me. Right, okay, so there's that. And then a water flow in the start square. Well, this creator, they pretty much know how to make a water flow map. There you go. It's quite a small, narrow river, but it's deep and it's strong flowing. So you can pump and draw from that without too many concerns, which is definitely A+. Not A+ in score, but just it's A+. You know, not B-. It might be more of a B-. Anyway, yeah, map design. It's striking. This is the sort of thing where you look at this creator and you go, wow, look at the shapes going on here. I wonder what they'll do in the future. And they'll do some good stuff. They'll do some pretty decent stuff. Again, I'm not mentioning their names until the end of the show. Have you figured them out yet? So anyway, yes, we've got lots of flat buildable areas. We've got some strong, striking mountains with highways leading up and into the buildable areas as well. So lots of credit to be given there. We've got water spawn points, which are 2016 written right through them. These are ouch. These are very ouch. But again, of its time, it's fair enough. We've got, if I come down here, I imagine these are meant to be wetlands. I mean, they are very, very risen for wetlands, but at least they're consistent, and consistency is a way of like making us believe that something's meant to be. But yes, it's not very subtle, is it? also, again, of its time, way before we had the 81 tile mod, there was this sort of thing going on. In fact, I don't remember any. But basically, we've got a height map that doesn't quite match. It's even worse over this side. Look over this. Look at this. This is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Again, nobody could have ever got out here. It was deep in fog. There was no way of unlocking it. It was impossible. And then bloody penguin. So, yeah. It's right dramatic, isn't it? But what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you're voting on Mountain Valley Delta and use today's standards. Right, okay. What do I think of Mountain Valley Delta by Sidai? Sidai's map. Well, Sidai. Yeah, it's not the best, is it? I think it's fair to say it's not the best. But as first maps go, it's not bad. It's got a strong design. It's not very polished. I can go into 3 stars on design, but it's going to be medium low. It needs a little bit of extra love and attention. Detailing. Again, there's nothing really wrong with it, but there's nothing to elevate it either. I think, again, I've got to go towards the lower end of 3 stars. Let's match that score. Match the score. Medium low 3. Gameplay. Okay, let's be fair. It is very playable. It doesn't really entice me to want to play it, but even so, if I were to play it, it's going to be a good game because it's good design. I'm going to go slightly below middle 4. Mountain Valley Delta by Sidai. Thank you, Sidai, for being a great creator and for getting good. Thank you for getting good, because without you, there's a whole host of maps that would be missing from the workshop that we would be sorely missing. And Roddlepop, what a great name. I guess in Germanic would be slightly different, but Roodlepop, but I don't know. Anyway, that's about the best I can do. Now, are you still here? If you are, use the word of the day. Just prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. I will be back very, very soon with more content and a whole new map of a whole new week of What Maps next week. Thanks for watching. See you then.